Welcome back everybody to another Diablo 4 video. I'm your host, Eternal Genin. Today we're taking a look at the Necromancer for endgame progression. We are calling this the Shadow Reaper. This is kind of like a PvP build. Also, you can use this in any part of the game, end game, everywhere. We have high crit focus. There is no stats wasted on this build. That's why you'll see we're using Sever on here. Very high damaging skill for our spammable. Okay, so we're looking at the disobedience on the neck. We're going to be looking at the blood-soaked aspect on the ring, which is going to give our blood mist, the shadow damage, movement speed, debuff is kind of taken off and stuff like that. So this puts back into our shadow damage here. We're also going to be taking these boots, the aspect explosiveness. This is where we're going to be triggering the corpse explosion off the blood mist. We got the grasping veins on the gloves. You'll see we have kind of like a combo that we used to use in the beta on our blood mage, using that kind of combo mixed in with the shadow damage that we were using on our leveling build, which was a shadow minion build. So with the combination of those two, we kind of came up with this build, completely just wreck shop and everything that we do so far, with where we're at in our gear progression and everything, which is level 68. So we're also looking at aspect of might. This is a huge one. Kind of builds off our reap, gives us a bunch of damage reduction. Down here, the bread and butter on the build, you're going to be looking at basically the Shadow Blight passives and aspects, dealing extra damage for 6 seconds after it triggers, and then the one that gives it the compounding damage to the Shadow Blight passive as it stacks and stuff like that. So down here we're going to be using the gems, the amethyst in the weapons for the damage over time. The offhand and armor is going to get the topaz, which is the DR, the damage reduction while we're under a control impaired, which is basically everything in the game, and everything a player will use against you is going to be a CC, a form of CC. So right here we got the skulls going into all the jewels, just because armor's OP, resistances suck, and so that's what we're running with. Okay, we'll get into the skills when we go down through the skill sheet and everything like that. But as far as the sacrifices go, we're sacrificing the Reapers. We're going to go ahead and get that shadow damage buff. We're sacrificing the cold mages for the vulnerability buff, and we're sacrificing the golems for the crit strike damage buff. Basically for the skill loadout, what we're looking like is we're going to be using Reap as our basic skill, to where it sheds a corpse to set up our combo. Down here we're going to be taking Sever, hitting along the path for more hits through groups and mobs, and then we're hitting that vulnerability on the 4th proc. Taking the Hued Flesh, obviously for the lucky hit chance. We are using a wand and a shield on this build to boost lucky hit, just to get a lot of our passive and modifiers kind of ticking at the same time. You'll see what I'm talking about in the passives below. But blood mist, bread and butter, going into the one that overpowers, doesn't really matter that much, but it does shed corpses. That does matter. Basically, you can see what we're doing. We're shedding a lot of corpses, creating a lot of corpses, getting a lot of essence from corpses, more damage from corpses, exploding corpses, increasing the radius, and making them shadow. This is going to put a dot down, a nasty dot down, to be honest with you. That's going to proc a lot of our passives, including the Hued Flesh. It's also going to proc this necrotic carpus down here, because every time we make a corpse, we're getting fortified. Down here we're going to be taking Decrepify. This is what we're going to be starting off our combo with. Everything, just hit it with a decrep, slow it, triggering our CCs and all of our passives, also dealing a little bit of damage reduction there. So that's real nice to kind of get that reduction in damage. So the lucky hit, on stunned ones, and then we're going to go down here and take the cooldown off the hits. So you can see we're going to cool down a lot of these skills like blood mist and the veins. So speaking of which, corpse tendrils, going with the slow and pull and going with the vulnerable. So we got 2 ways to proc vulnerable here. We're going to be grabbing all the mobs, enemies, what have you, grouping them in together, getting them in one spot, stunning the crap out, hitting them with the decrep and reap spamming, sever spamming in there. Mention the necrotic carapace, basically for the fortify. Reaper's Pursuit, this is where we get our speed buff. Gloom for the extra damage. Darkness skills. And then here Terror kind of brings everything together with all the CC kind of going on in the build. And this is going to stack for 9%, 9%. Darkness skills, and then all the CCs that we have onto the enemies. This one right here, basically just adding another layer of CC. It's kind of ridiculous. Since we are a sacrifice mage necromancer, we're going to go ahead and take the standalone down here. We're going to go ahead and take the Memento Mori down here. If I didn't mention it, we are taking the Death's Embrace up here because we are going to be melee range majority of the time. And then the bread and butter, basically the Shadow Bite down here, which kind of ties the whole build together. That's basically the build. I don't know if I missed anything so far, so I think that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and catch you guys next time. Thank you so much.